The election is just 5 days away, and Georgia's gubernatorial race remains on the national stage. Vice President Mike Pence campaigning with Republican candidate Brian Kemp in Savannah today.
We will make Georgia and America safer than ever before.
Ahead of President Trump's rally for Kemp this weekend. Meanwhile, Oprah Winfrey is stumping for Democratic candidate Stacey Abrams in Atlanta today.
She's a woman who dared believe that she could change the state of Georgia.
And President Obama will be there tomorrow. Tonight, WTOC's Don Baker has a preview of her exclusive one-on-one interview with the candidate. And tomorrow is the last day to get your vote in early. More than 1.5 million people have already cast their vote in Georgia, including more than 25,000 in Chatham County.
Right now, let's give you a live look from our Savannah Hilton Head International Airport Skycam. Vice President Mike Pence expected to arrive in Savannah in about an hour.
This is the Vice President's third stop today with Brian Kemp, making stops in Dalton near the Georgia-Tennessee border and in Grovetown near Augusta. And tonight we have live team coverage of the Vice President's visit to the Coastal Empire.
WTOC's Wright Gazaway, Meredith Parker, and Danielle Lewan are all at the Savannah International Trading Convention Center, where that speech will be given by the Vice President. We begin, though, with our Dow Kennedy, who is waiting for the Vice President's arrival at the airport. Dow?
Mike, we're here at the 165th Airlift Wing right outside of Garden City, waiting right here. This spot, the Air Force Two will arrive here, much like he did back in March for St. Patrick's Day for his visit here. But as we said, this speech with a different agenda, political stump speech, campaigning for Brian Kemp. I want to show you something that's developed in the last hour since we spoke at the news at 4. You can see contingent of 165th members that are here along with their families, hoping to get a handshake, a wave, probably get a selfie or two with the Vice President. But we'll have that for you coming up live later on in the news at 6 as he arrives. Live at the 165th, Dow Kennedy, WTOC News.
WTOC's Meredith Parker is at the convention center where the Vice President is expected to speak.
She joins us now live with how security efforts, obviously beefed up, are being handled ahead of tonight's rally.
Elizabeth, Mike, this appears to be the most secure place in Savannah right now. I'm outside of the convention center, standing near the river, and you can see that there are officers on the backside as well as surrounding this entire area. I just went through security just a second ago to see what it's like on the inside. Not only are the lines still long, but they are also being very extensive, going through my entire wallet and going through all of my ones in there as well. So they have definitely taken the extra steps to secure this place and make sure everyone is safe. This high-profile visit makes security tight on Hutchinson Island. So far, we've seen Secret Service, SPD, Georgia State Patrol, K-9 units out here. I've also noticed unmarked security vehicles as well. Everyone asked to be out of the convention center at 1 o'clock today so that they could do a 2-hour security sweep of the entire premises. We even had some officers come over to our satellite van and look through that as well. Security crews getting a walk through the building just minutes before they locked everything down. This is a procedure some of you might remember from Vice President Mike Pence's visit in March for the St. Patrick's Day parade. Right now, all there is to see is security officers here on the backside. Everyone else is gathering on the inside with the rally set to start at 5 o'clock. Ahead at 5:30, we'll be speaking more about Pence and his arrival coming soon. Live at the Convention Center, Meredith Parker, WTOC News.
And our live team coverage continues tonight inside the convention center with Danielle Lewan.
She is standing inside, getting reaction from people who are waiting for this rally to start, Danielle, and it looks like they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Things have been kind of pushed back a little.
Just a little bit, but it hasn't stopped the turnout here today. Mike, when we checked in with you just an hour ago, there were about 100 folks. As you can see, the room is completely packed out. Those security measures Meredith was referring to, we just had several anti-Kemp protesters escorted out of here today. They are not taking any chances. Those supporters here behind me, though, we are having Brian Kemp stickers, hats, signs, patriotism across the board, all here, American flag T-shirts, and we also have supporters coming from all over our coastal empire area. Chatham County, Effingham County, Liberty, and McIntosh. Take a listen to why it was so important for them to be right here in this room today.
Brian Kemp is he's just the right decision for Georgia. He supports good conservative values. He believes in a favorable business climate for the state, and he believes in protecting us from illegal criminal aliens. And all those things are things that people in Georgia want.
And again, supporters across the board, young to old voters here today, making sure that their voice is heard and seen as we wait for this rally to kick off. We'll have that exclusive footage from right here inside Street for you. For now, back to you guys in the studio.
Meanwhile, Brian Kemp's opponent, Democrat Stacey Abrams, has some star power coming into Georgia to support her campaign. TV star and media mogul Oprah Winfrey making stops in Metro Atlanta today in support of Abrams.
Yeah, she participated in 2 town hall events with her today. Listen to what she had to say.
She is dynamic. She is so inspired and inspiring. She's bold. She's bold. She's bold. And bodacious. She's a Georgia warrior woman.
Former President Obama is expected to be in Atlanta tomorrow for a campaign event for Stacey Abrams.
There's going to be a little iffy tomorrow, but right now we're just dealing with some winds, and you can see that on our Georgia Southern Sky Cam. Some of the trees blowing in the breeze there. Our temperatures are warm, 77 in Savannah, 79 Statesboro, 82 Claxton, and it's slightly muggy as warm, moist air is surging in ahead of a cold front back to the west. Our radar is dry, but we are tracking some showers just outside our viewing area. We've got cloud coverage up and down I-95 with some peaks of sunshine, filtered clouds in Waycross and Vidalia. Eastman seeing those showers, so they have passed the I-75 corridor and they'll encroach our western communities pretty much past sunset. So you got about another hour before, or an hour and a half before they really start to impact anyone. And we're just keeping it at 20% by 8, 9 o'clock. We'll keep it 20% through the overnight, but we'll ramp it up to 70% chance of showers and storms for Friday. It's a first alert weather day for impactful weather in the afternoon. I'll see you in a few for your full first alert forecast.
Well, WTOC is also keeping a close eye on some top races in the Palmetto State.
That includes who's going to become South Carolina's next governor. Now, the current Republican governor, Henry McMaster, is facing Democratic State Representative James Smith in the race for governor.
And 2 women are vying to be the South Carolina's next lieutenant governor. Republican businesswoman Pamela Evett is running against Democratic State Representative Mandy Powers-Norrell. All these candidates will face each other November 6th.
Want to give you a reminder, early voting in Georgia ends tomorrow. More than 1.5 million people have already cast their ballot. There are several locations in the Coastal Empire voters can head out to ahead of the election. Check with your local elections board for your county. We have all of those venues as well on our website, WTOC.com. On the Election Center page, we've also included more information about the candidates in all the races in Georgia and in South Carolina. Again, just check out our homepage.
And giving you a live look now at the Savannah International Trade and Convention Center, where Vice President Mike Pence is expected to arrive within the next hour. He's en route coming from Augusta. We have live team coverage tonight. A lot of folks gathered inside. We'll have more in just a few minutes.
Plus, Democrat candidate for governor Stacey Abrams sitting down with our Dawn Baker for a one-on-one interview about what the candidate wants for Georgia.
Live on the roadways, the WTOC Jamie Casino traffic tracker. We'll get those drive times for you. And right now we are on Dean Forest Road with some stop and go traffic near I-16. Now this just could be, you've got a car turning in there. It usually does get backed up trying to get on the highway there. We are monitoring the drive times on I-16 east and westbound. So if you're heading in from Pembroke to I-95, it's going to take you about 11 minutes. From 95 to 516, 6, and then getting off 516 to Durham and Abercorn, no slowdowns. We're in the yellow right now, and we're monitoring the eastbound lanes because of Pence traffic. Heading outbound, not too much of a difference from your regular drive times. We're talking about 11 minutes from 516 to I-95, and then regular time heading out to Pembroke.
Well, Georgia's governor's race continues to get national attention. Ryan Gazaway continues our team coverage tonight ahead of the Pence Kemp rally in Savannah. How's it going there, right?
Elizabeth, this is easily the most closely watched race for the governor's office in Georgia in the last 2 decades. Republicans see it as a chance to solidify their hold on the state. Meanwhile, Democrats see it as a chance to stand up to President Trump and elect Stacey Abrams. There were a couple of big-name people campaigning for each today here in Georgia. Oprah Winfrey made stops in Metro Atlanta campaigning for Abrams. Meanwhile, the vice president is making 3 stops across the state for Kemp. Winfrey encouraged rallygoers there to get out and vote. She calls Abrams a, quote, change maker. Today, current Governor Nathan Deal, Pence, and Kemp started their day in Dalton and then went to Grovetown just outside of Augusta. At last check, they are still in the Augusta area. This is Pence's second time to the Peach State stumping for Kemp. He came to Macon ahead of the Republican primary runoff earlier this year, endorsing Kemp over his challenger Casey Cagle. I mentioned Republicans seeing this as a chance to further President Trump's agenda. Here's the vice president speaking a little bit about that earlier today in Dalton.
With renewed Republican leadership at every level all across the state of Georgia, President Donald Trump in the White House, and with God's help. I just know we will make Georgia and America more prosperous than you could possibly imagine.
This isn't it when it comes to big names and rallies. Sunday, President Trump will be in Macon campaigning for Kemp. President Obama will be in Atlanta tomorrow campaigning for Stacey Abrams. Both candidates are sprinting to that finish line next week. Reporting live in Savannah, Wright Gazaway, WTOC News.
Well, Democrat Stacey Abrams has been nonstop on the campaign trail as well, but slowed down for just a few minutes to give Dawn Baker an exclusive interview. Dawn joins us now live with a preview from the live desk.
Yeah, Mike, as you had mentioned, it took some coordinating, but we were finally able to catch up with Stacey Abrams a couple days ago in Warrenton, Georgia, right outside of Augusta. Now, the former Georgia minority leader told me that she is on a mission to help all Georgians. If people are willing to work, she can help them get out of poverty. Her plan, she says, can change lives.
Georgia has a strong legacy of creating jobs. The challenge is making sure those jobs aren't concentrated in certain areas and leave behind so many communities. Yes, we're one of the #1 places in which to do business, but we have an 18% poverty rate, and we're number 22 of 25 in small businesses. I have comprehensive specific plans to invest in small businesses, to create 22,000 apprenticeships to close the skilled labor gap, and to invest across the state of Georgia through broadband access.
Well, you don't want to miss the rest of my one-on-one interview with Stacey Abrams coming up on D News at 6. She talked about many issues, including health care for people who don't have access now, immigration, and working across the board to make sure that things get done in the state of Georgia.
A warm, breezy afternoon. Once again, we go live from Statesboro with our Georgia Southern Sky Cam, and temperatures are in the upper 70s, except for the immediate coast. Beaufort 74, 75 Hilton Head, but 81 St. Simons. Our live radar is dry for the coastal empire and low country, but just outside the viewing area, we've got showers detected in Milledgeville, Macon, and Cochran, and they are making their way to the northeast, so these will kind of skirt our area for the most part in the next hour, but then they'll start to make their way east as we're watching this line ahead of the cold front that's still back to the west. So you see a break in the action after Macon and Albany, Columbus, Eufaula seeing that rain, but there's more back to the west with the actual cold front. We just have a 20% chance of seeing those showers actually making its way toward I-95. Now, tomorrow, we're at a marginal risk of seeing some thunderstorms, and any one storm that does develop in the afternoon with that daytime heating has the risk of becoming severe with some damaging winds. That's what we've been talking about for several days, but we went ahead and made it a first alert weather day because it will be impactful on your way home. On your way home tonight, looking good. We'll slow to cool. It's only going to be 70 at 2 a.m., and those rain chances build just to about 20% with light rain possible. So make sure at the bus stop you have an umbrella, 71 degrees. You're going to need it definitely heading home. And don't worry about calling us at WTOC. Some schools do, to say, is it okay to let the kids out? We're watching those skies. We'll be watching them very carefully for you. And if you have any concerns, you can call us here. So as we head through the rest of the evening, those showers look most likely in our western communities, Baxley back to Waycross. This is 9 o'clock. And as they push toward the I-95 corridor, maybe some sprinkles. Overnight, we should be dry. And then at 9 o'clock, after the bulk of our morning rush, we'll start to bump up those rain chances. We may get a large break in any action, really. And then here comes the cold front with widely scattered showers and storms. We pause it here at 5 o'clock. Your evening commute will most likely be wet, westbound 16, northbound on I-95. The actual cold front still draped to the west, and look how it pushes through about 6, 7, 8. And we're finally going to try to dry out at 9, but a last little push of energy may last into Saturday morning, but I think that's going to be before sun rises. 76 for the high in Jessup, 71 Baxley, 78 Rincon, 74 Vidalia, 74 Beaufort, 76 Ridgeland, a 70% chance of showers and storms tomorrow. It's a first alert weather day for the PM commute, and for some morning impactful showers even by lunchtime. Don't forget to fall back. Rain chances already at our doorstep Sunday evening into the beginning of next work week.
For nearly 70 years, the Exchange Club of Savannah has operated the Coastal Empire Fair.
Yeah, and the fair starts tonight and runs through the 11th of this month. But Sean Evans is looking into the future of the city-owned plot and what plans the city leaders have after the fair.
The Exchange Club has used this site to host the Coastal Empire Fair for decades and continues to do so this year, but that won't always be the case. Beyond the Ferris wheel, carousels, and fair food, the city has big plans for this site that spans more than 60 acres. It was purchased from the Exchange Club back in 2016 for nearly $3 million. The plan for the site has evolved since the purchase, from possibly holding housing to just a recreational complex. Recreation is what many living around the space would prefer over housing to benefit all generations and not overpopulate an already dense neighborhood. The city has leased the space out a handful of times since the summer of 2016 and now again for the fair. In the latest agreement with the Exchange Club, the city agreed to lease the land for around $32,000. There have been offers on portions of the land, though, that the city has turned down. Backers of a film production studio wanted to move into the existing buildings on the Medding Street side of the lot, and they're still hoping that will become a reality at some point.
Recreation could absolutely coexist. In fact, it would be a perfect marriage between two projects, because if you had the studio complex up front and then recreation facilities behind it, that would be a perfect scenario for the studio.
The 69th Coastal Empire Fair, once again calling this site home, begins tonight and runs through the 11th of this month. If you want more details about the fair, just look for this story on our website. Reporting in Savannah, Sean Evans, WTOC News.
Well, it's a big weekend in Savannah with Rock and Roll Marathon happening.
That's right, and Hollywood celebrities are also here for the SCAD Savannah Film Festival. Syria Sandlin has what you need to know in tonight's Savannah Weekend.
On your mark, get set, go. On Saturday, more than 10,000 runners will take off down Bay Street for the 2018 Humana Rock and Roll Marathon, Savannah.
It's the 8th annual Rock and Roll Marathon weekend. So once again, first Saturday in November, we have the marathon, half marathon, and then on Sunday, the 5K and 1K at Daphne Park. Yeah, I mean, the expo is a good opportunity just to come and see the vendors there. Toyota's got a really impressive, huge display, and several other vendors from local running stores, nutrition companies. So great things to see. And Saturday, some great bands. Local band Nickelback of Funk will open up the show, and then the headline act this year is Michael Franti and Spearhead. They're a really great, fun, family-friendly act. There's food and drinks for purchase, so it's a great family event. If you don't want to run, come down and enjoy the show at Forsyth Park. Yeah, Sunday is the 5K and 1 mile at Daphne Park. And they do that in partnership with the city and the Bananas. They start it right outside Grayson Stadium, run through Ardsley Park.
If you're looking for some other activities this weekend, the Coastal Empire Fair is officially underway. Enjoy rides, games, entertainment, food, and so much more from November 1st through the 11th. Tickets are available online or at the gates. Also, on Saturday, head out to the beach for the 7th annual Tybee Island Kite Festival, sponsored by the Savannah Parkinson Support Group and North Beach Bar and Grill. A $10 ticket gets you live music, delicious gumbo, and a kite to fly. All of the proceeds from this event support people with Parkinson's disease in the Savannah and Low Country area. Last but not least, the SCAD Savannah Film Festival continues through Saturday. Check our website for a list of screenings and red carpet appearances. Don't forget, I want to see your pictures. Use hashtag Savannah Weekend and download our app. In Savannah, Syria Sandlin, WTOC News.
And giving you a live look now from the airport. We are waiting on the arrival of Vice President Mike Pence. He's expected to arrive in the Coastal Empire within the next hour. Coming from Augusta, he is campaigning with Republican candidate Kemp. We'll have live team coverage coming up in just a few minutes.